everyone. Welcome to our first edition of the Scentsy Family Reunion reruns that we've put together. Tonight I've got two very special guests for you. I have Steffi Melberl and Terry Newman, who are going to present some topics for us tonight. So get ready, sit back, take some notes. If you've got questions, go ahead and post them on the YouTube page. I can see them from where I'm sitting, and we'll be able to answer them as we can. So have fun. Here we go. I'm going to flip it to Steffi.
Hey everyone, my name is Steffi. I am a star director down in Tampa Bay, Florida. I live in a small, tiny town. It's not even a town yet, called Parrish, and we've got cows and orange groves out here. And before I get started, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am a star director. I joined February of 2011, so I just hit my 5 years and did the 5-year walk at this reunion. And since I joined 5 years ago, we've moved 4 times. And I'm not talking like little inner city moves. My husband's active duty in the Coast Guard. And when I joined Scentsy, we were living in Key West, Florida. And 3 months later, we up and moved to my hometown, Seattle, Washington. And from there, they sent us to Juneau, Alaska. And then this past summer, so a year ago, around this time, we moved here to St. Petersburg area, Florida. So we've had 4 major moves, and because of that, I feel like anytime that Scentsy wants to talk about relocating your Scentsy business, I seem to be the gal who they turn to. So tonight I'm going to talk to you guys about boot scootin' team meetings. Was one of my topics that I presented on at Reunion, and primarily I'm going to be focusing on online team meetings. I do a few local meetings depending on where we've lived at any given time. Sometimes my local team meeting is rather large, and sometimes I'm starting all over with the building process and starting out small. So I'm going to talk to you tonight first about a lot of the meetings that I do online, which the way that she's got it set up is exactly how I run my team meetings. We do Google Hangouts linked to YouTube so we can have as many viewers as possible on. What I love about Google Hangout in the beginning, if you're a newer consultant or if you're just starting to grow your team, you can have up to 10 people on Google Hangouts. So I'll go ahead and let you know that now. So you can have it. If you are a star consultant with 7 people on your team, you absolutely can all get on Google Hangout together and be able to do exactly what we're doing right now with face-to-face interaction. Once you surpass 10, though, you are going to have to link it from Google Hangouts to YouTube, and then you can have as many viewers as you want. What I love about this still, though, is there's a side chat bar so that you can always ask questions and we can field answers. So since you wanted me to go over what are the 7 most important steps that you have to have in order to have a successful team meeting, and the first one is motivation. What is going to motivate your team members to want to come, to want to attend, and what do you do to inspire them to want to come and participate? So there's a couple of things that I have done from the beginning to kind of hope to instill motivation to get them to come. And first of that is we do shout outs, you know. So in the very beginning, to be honest, we would only have maybe 5, 6, 7 people attend the team meeting, and we would do shout outs to first time attendees, maybe give off a random prize, some happy mail, you know, just a postcard in the mail following a team meeting saying thank you so much for hopping onto our team meeting. Anything that gives somebody kind of a warm, fuzzy feeling to interact. I like to even pop on the beginning of a team meeting and act really silly. I might show up, and you'll see my slides from when Scentsy posts them. I'll show up with my children's Halloween costume. So I'll go dig through their drawer, and I've come in Spider-Man and a stormtrooper and anything to just kind of make the girls laugh. Now, while I'm in that silly, goofy costume, I'll do a screenshot of our screen, and our girls really love the fact that they are captured in a photo. So we'll all be together. So right now I could sit here, and I've got Terry and Wendy in the screen, and I can go ahead and screenshot it, and then I'll go and post that to Facebook afterwards, and I'll tag each of those girls. So everybody kind of likes to see that team photo afterwards, and it also gets your friends and your Scentsy fans in your newsfeed also seeing that. And other Scentsy consultants even get a little jealous, like they do team meetings, like and they like to see those goofy photos and people comment on them. So that's one of the first steps is motivation, what gets people there. So we try and make it fun straight from the beginning. The second step is recognition. I'll start off every single call and I'll say, top 10 in sales from the previous month. We'll do top recruiters. Now, depending on if it was a rockin' month, like with a join special with what we have going on right now, on a slower month, I might go ahead and include everybody who recruited at least one person who grew their frontline by one. Or some months we might just do top 10. I have no doubt in this next call for my team, we're probably just going to have to do top 10 in sales, because out of 400 some odd people, we're growing. We're growing big. So that would probably take 20 minutes if I rattled off every single person who grew their frontline as well as their new team member. And then we also like to do a shout out for first time attendees. So in that side chat bar, we'll go ahead and ask who's new here, like who just joined and who, was able to attend, or, whose son just ended soccer season, so you're so excited that you finally get to hop on live rather than watch the recording later. So the first step was motivation. Second step is recognition. Now the third step to your team meeting is any new information and updates. So I'll give myself 5 minutes before a team meeting and look over the news tab and resources and see what's going on. We always seem to have something. It could be January with Bring Back My Bars and double hostess half off items. Any of those things we'll quickly just run through, because if they didn't catch it on your team page on Facebook, and if they didn't catch it on the email, or they didn't even see it for themselves on the news tab, this is one more opportunity for me to kind of catch them up with what's going on our Scentsy workstation side. The fourth is training. What's going on in Scentsy World this month that you can have training on? Basket parties, hostess coaching, recruiting right now and sponsoring. What about international leading and growing your team internationally? These are all topics, so we'll all just kind of, every single training call, we choose something different. So August right now, ours is every third Thursday. It's easy to remember. Every third Thursday at 9 o'clock we log on and do this. And so like for right now, for August, for ours, in the middle of August, we'll be just going to go ahead and make a new consultant training call. And so it'll be all information for brand new consultants, so we can do that. In September, we'll talk about, the busy fall holiday selling season and how to prepare for that. So we really cater our training to what's going on with Scentsy right then and the season and which catalog that we're in. The fifth step is friendships and socializing. And this can be really tricky, especially online like this. You just see faces, or you might have some chatter in the sidebar. But I really truly believe that if you can tie in friendship and socializing, your attendance to other things goes way up. You will notice that your world tour attendance goes up. You'll notice that your reunion attendance goes up. Now, I don't know how many of you were at reunion last year, but if you recall, we had a competition for those superstar directors who had the largest consultants in attendance. We got a private party. I really truly believe that my group won because of things like this, that we pair people together, that we ask different people to lead the training, that we do different consultants, mentoring them up with each other. These girls and guys really get an opportunity to get to know each other online throughout the course of an entire year, that when reunion registration rolls around, or that world tour registration rolls around, they already have kind of those butterflies are a little bit gone, because they might not have ever met Molly in person before, but they've talked to Molly for the last 4 or 5 months, and they've messaged Molly when they saw something funny about glitter and unicorns, because they know that that's kind of her thing. So because of these training calls, either local or online, they really get to know each other. So you really want to include friendship and socializing and pairing consultants up who have similar interests and similar hobbies, or maybe even are on the same Scentsy journey. They're both star consultants. One has a team of 7, one has a team of 6. You can kind of have a little friendly competition with each other. So the 6th step is going over new products. Now, when I host local meetings, I like to really kind of bribe and entice my teammates to come by doing kind of a craft together. We've done washer whiff samples together. We've done dryer discs where we just pull them apart and prep them for online thank yous. When I do online thank yous, instead of doing a scent circle or maybe a car bar, I gift like a baggie of washer whiffs, and I gift a single dryer disc. I open up the box and pull the two apart because they mail super flat. So we'll get together and put together online hostess gifts. So that will be our washer whiff samples, our single dryer discs that will make little stickers for to stick on there to explain what they're used for. We've done liquid detergent samples. Now all of these things now are available in the Scentsy store, so we haven't done it recently. These are some of the things that we did when they first came out. So we've done liquid detergent together, we've done clothing conditioner, and then we've also done recently, we did the oil sampler set. So I bribed my girls that if they came to me, since I live an hour away from my local girls here in Florida, if they came to me, they have full access to all of my stuff. So you come to me and you can use my oil sampler set, because to be honest with you, I buy it and then I'm just going to sit on it, because who wants to sit there and make mini sample sets all by yourself? So I encourage them to come down to me, and sure enough, I believe six came down, and we sat in my clubhouse, and we just sat there and chit-chatted, talked about Scentsy, but talked about life, talked about husbands, talked about hobbies, talked about interests, because I really didn't know these girls too well at the time, and just sat and connected with each other and and we each left with an oil sampler set. And to be honest with you, that would have just probably sat in my drawer for another 3 or 4 more months before there was like binge watching of Netflix happening, so that I would actually sit down and work on this. So the girls came up and we did those all together. So oil sampler set is one of those that's super fun too. And I had mine around, but I think the 3-year-old probably walked off with it. She calls them her little frogs, so she likes to capture them. And then the last step is creating a culture of opportunity. We all have somebody within our downline who has a strong suit. So for me, I really like to, I don't know if I like to, but I'm really good at starting all over again, picking up and packing up and then moving someplace new and then challenging myself to treat my business like a new consultant all over again. So that's kind of my strong suit. So anytime that we're talking about sensational start levels, or shooting star, or how do you get your name out there, that's kind of what I like to talk about when it comes to team meetings. But we all have somebody who has a strength in other areas. I've got a rock star recruiter within my downline, Andy Teeter. Amazing, huge numbers. The girls recruited 14 in a month. And that's exactly who we go to anytime we need recruiting. Why? Because she loves it. She loves to talk about it. And she's so good at it. So why wouldn't we have her? So give kudos where kudos is deserved, and ask people to do things for you. If somebody does amazing Scent Circle fundraisers, and while you've just read up on them, have the person who's done one before hop onto your team call to do it for you. Sponsoring is the same thing. Pouch parties, follow-ups. You know, find the strengths within your organization and have people speak to those. Now, do we have an option for Q&A? Is there a chat bar or anything going on that I can answer questions? Or Terry, can you think of anything that I left off?
That was really good, Steph. Those are all great ideas. Great ideas. That was very inspiring. Thank you. I didn't get to go to a lot of the expo tables either. And you just made me feel like I was there. Perfect. Thank you. I can't see any questions over here. When are we?
Hey guys, I'm searching in the groups and I'm looking on the YouTube page. I'm kind of scrolling. If you ask a question on the YouTube page and you get an answer from somebody that you don't know, I'm answering via my daughter's account, so it looks kind of crazy. I'm also checking the group page and I'm not seeing anything. Let's see, I do have a question here. Could you please review the steps again? So this is going to be to Steffi, if you want to go over that again.
Yes, and it was probably easier to follow at reunion because we had PowerPoint slides back behind us all big. But so step 1 is motivation. And step 2 is recognition. So that's where I encourage doing top sales, recruiters, first-time attendees. Something that doesn't apply to team meetings, but what I like to do for recognition is every Wednesday on my team page, I do Wahoo Wednesday. So today, we did top 3 in sales, and anybody, I call it growing their frontline because I don't always like to use the R word, recruiting. So I say top 3 in sales and then growing their frontline, and then I welcome new team members and I'll tag them. And then depending on, obviously this month is pretty early in the game, so I'll look and run a sensational start report, and I'll look and run a shooting star too. And if there's any of those that apply, then I'll go ahead and shout them out too every Wednesday. So step 1, motivation. Step 2, recognition. Step 3, new information and updates. So whatever you can pull from your resource tab or our new, I believe they call it what, news and updates or something similar. We just changed the name. Step 4 is training, and I'll make it specific to whatever Scentsy season we're in. Step 5 is friendships and socializing. And then step 6 is new products. So say we just got back from leadership and we were just, told about a new product that would be launching for our spring and summer catalog. That could be something that you could go over. How we now have diffuser shades starting September that you can order instead. So that's kind of what I would do for new products. That's also where I tie in maybe making samples together. Say we took those 3 exclusive bars that we got at Reunion. If we wanted to make samples and then mail them to our downline who didn't come, but kind of like a teaser, like I hope to see you in Kansas City with me next year, because this is kind of some of the things that they give us. We got these 3 exclusive sets. So that's new products for number 6. And then step number 7 is the culture of opportunity. And for me personally, that's inviting my girls to present on topics that are their strengths on our calls.
Very good. Let me check. So I throw my phone across the table. One more time, just to see. That pretty much covers us. Now, Steffi, if you have any of the slides or anything like that that you want to share, you can always post them in the group, and the people can look at them that way too, so that they'll have that kind of to reinforce what you say. But I think you just open my mind. I've got notes here because I didn't just like Terry, I didn't have a chance to go around to all the booths to get all the information, so that's one reason why we're doing this.
And I've got them right here too. If you want me to try and screen share, and we can just push through them for 2 seconds, and then
let's do it.
Okay, let's see how this works out. I know I just saw the screen share button. There we go.
Thanks to you, I know where that screen share button is now.
Good. There. All right, you guys can see that okay?
Perfect.
All right, let me scroll up to slide number, well, you don't need, there's my name. And let's see, slide number 2, so 7 things every meeting should include. Let's see if I can even hit play. Does that, oh, nope, it doesn't like that. Okay, so step 1 was motivation, and here's a little teasers of what I do for motivation. The first left picture is something that we've posted on Facebook. It was a save the date for one of our local group meetings. Every November we have a big, huge group event we call Craft-A-Palooza, and it's anywhere from 4 to 8 hours long, and we have snippets of training and crafts and eating junk food, and depending on how large of our attendance is, we've rented out either like a hotel meeting room, or we've done it in someone's home. We've rented out, church worship halls. So depending on our attendance each year. So Craft-A-Palooza is something that we do, and little snippets of pics of crafts that we've done in the past really gets the motivation from new consultants to attend. You've got a picture of what I would post on Facebook about our 3rd Thursday. Just drop it in my newsfeed. It gets both our current consultants, past consultants, and maybe those on the fencers to see that we offer training within my organization, and that kind of helps them feel like they're not alone, that they have this opportunity monthly to learn from other consultants. And then the last picture is of me in one of my ridiculous costumes, and an example of what our photos look like that we take and post as well. Step 2 is recognition. Again, it's welcoming people to the team. My Wahoo Wednesday, shout out to team builders. Step 3, new information and updates. Step 4 is training. My party crew offers 3rd Thursday every month. 5 is friendships and socializing. And 6 is new products. Here we are making our oil sampler set, and then the single disc dryer discs, as well as everything was pulled out, and we were making clothing conditioner and washer whiff samples right there. And then creating that culture of opportunity is your 7th step. And then how to include your non-local team members, which I think is what I focus on the most because I've moved 4 times now, and my group spans all over Australia and New Zealand, and we just got our first recruit in Ireland yesterday, but across the board, over 400 some of us are just scattered all throughout the United States primarily. So primarily we do all online meetings like this. Our third Thursday is at 9 p.m. East Coast time. And so it's then 6 p.m. on the West Coast, and that's 11 a.m. for my Aussies on Friday morning. So hold an in-person meeting if you do those and record it. You can hold an online meeting. I really have been having fun lately with using Facebook Live on my team page. If I'm sitting down and making wax samples, so often we forget that people are always coming onto our team, and so they're new, and so we forget to go back and kind of do a refresher on little things that you would be like, oh, you should know that, but it's like, oh no, you probably don't know that because you've only been with us for 2 weeks now. So I've been having fun playing around with Facebook Live on my team page and just being like, hey, I'm sitting down here and I'm making wax samples, and literally kind of showing step by step, like, this is how I melted the bar, I'm pouring it into the mold, I'll come back 20 minutes later, I'll pop it out, stick it in this bag with my business card. So it's only like a 2-minute video, but so often we forget how often new people are coming on board, and that these are all new to me. You know, even taking your label and sticking it on the bottom of a warmer, you know, that's not something that we go over often. And so I like to make sure that I'm grabbing my phone and doing a Facebook Live video right then to just show them my day-to-day in the life of being a Scentsy consultant. These are some of the things that I do. Google Hangouts linked to YouTube, which is what we're doing right now. Periscope, and then Zoom is another option as well. And let's see what else. Best practices that Scentsy offers us is hold a team meeting every month. I do like the consistency of it. It's something that they know to look for and plan on. Give a shout out to those first-time attendees. Make time for Q&A at the very end. Celebrate people's achievements. And that's why I like to go and do top sales, top recruiting. And then maybe issue a challenge as well for the next meeting. If you guys are talking about recruiting and sponsoring, maybe leave them to go out and have, you know, 10 possibility packets created, and then and that they have to issue those all out, and when they hand them out to somebody, that they get a picture taken kind of as proof. But you know, just something fun and silly to go back to your team page and say, I really did give this possibility packet to our amazing waitress who turned out to be a single mom, and you know, I know that the Scentsy really could be a blessing for her. So issue a challenge is kind of something fun to do at a meeting as well, and it gives you something to talk about at the next one. And then here's some helpful tools. The training center I saw when we had this meeting, Scentsy had everything out on our booth table, and so they had a lot of really great tools that I hadn't seen yet. And maybe they were just new for Reunion and are now posted to the training center because I found them, but they've got monthly themes geared to whatever season we're at with Scentsy, as well as agendas. They had examples of invitations if you wanted to make it extra personal. And they also had ideas for monthly challenges and meeting guides. Let's see. There. So there isn't a whole lot of work that you have to do. You don't have to come up with the content and the ideas and thinking out. Scentsy really has taken care of all of it for us, and it is on our training center right now too. So don't feel like all of these ideas were my ideas. We all just borrow bits and pieces from other people and piece it all together. And I was on there today because I was looking for scripts for our bacon event tonight, and I did stumble across all this stuff too about team meetings already.
Thank you, Steffi. I think there's a lot of information that we can find that's on the training site that we just kind of forget that's there. And I think you made a very good point when you said to use Facebook Live, because even today I was making opportunity packets and I didn't think to go Facebook Live because I preach so much to my team, you know, do this, but I don't think about the fact that we have new people coming in and they may not know what opportunity packets are or what they're for. So I think that's a very good reminder for all of us. Okay, I'm going to toss it now to Terry Newman, and she's going to talk a little bit more about recognition, which is an area that I think is very important if you're going to be a leader, because people really seem to feed off the recognition. So, Terry, I'm sending it to you.
Okay, I'm here. Hi, guys. Just start now? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm Terry Newman. I'm sorry I look a little ragged. I just got back from cheerleading practice, so I'm kind of in my cheerleading coach clothes. But thank you, Wendy, for having me. A little bit about me. I joined Sensi in 2008 in the fall, and I am a superstar director. I'm originally from Southern California, and now I live up in Portland, Oregon. And my husband and I, with his previous job, moved a lot also, and we've been in Portland for quite a while now. We have 3 kids, and this is kind of my bonus career after 40. I was a performing arts teacher. I'm still in the fine arts and cheerleading and all that, and it kind of just fit with Sensi, and it was sort of a very nice blessing that it came into my life when it did. My husband, Anthony, and I have 3 kids, and we have 2 in college and 1 that's going to be a senior this coming up year. So we're in a different season of life right now, and I run my business a little bit differently than I did 7.5 years ago. I will tell you this, that I've never claimed to be a great salesperson. I'm a talker, and I'm a descriptive person. I think I'm colorful and right-brained because I'm artistic. So I always say I can get you to eat at my favorite restaurant. So apparently I can get people to buy Sensi too. But I would say that my forte lies in cheerleading and being a good coach. So my teaching aspect of my personality has helped me a lot. And when Heather asked me to do this table at convention, I thought, oh, good. Oh, good. You know, it's okay. You get to a certain point in your life, and it's okay to say, I'm not great in this area. I'm okay. I need to train on this. I'm better. I always get ideas no matter what from, I don't care how long you've been with the company. The basic fundamentals are the basic fundamentals, and you just can never get enough of them, you guys. My husband always says in football that he did the same drills in the NFL that he did in 3rd grade. And his point is that it doesn't change. You just take it to a new level, and you perfect it. So as you become leaders, one of the things that's super important is what my topic was, which was called Simply the Best. And Steffi touched on it a little bit. We all talk about it a little bit, but as soon as you have that first person underneath you in your downline, you need to really, really be aware of how important it is to show appreciation for your team, because you're only as good as your team. We are better together, I always say. And so recognition and appreciation go hand in hand. What Sensi wanted me to get across that day at convention was, as a leader, off the bat, you need to decide what your system is. And you need to kind of figure that out. Is my system different now than it was when I started? Completely, because we barely had a workstation when I started. We certainly didn't have the training center we have now, didn't have the tools, the store. Just, you guys, we were new. There was no Facebook. We didn't have social media. Even not everybody I knew even had a computer yet. And that was only 7.5 years ago. So what it did is it forced us to kind of do things old school, kind of figure things out. So now we have all these wonderful products at our fingertips. But the fact of the matter is, I always tell new consultants, don't spend money you haven't made yet. And your business will vary. I'm sure the girls can agree with me that we all go through cycles. So you have to adjust as needed. I was not in a position to put out any extra money when I first started. As I go along, I still gauge it. But when you're creating your system for your team, and you're talking about wanting to recognize them for everything, you have to remember that it's really important to recognize the small steps as well as the big steps. So that being said, make sure not to come out of the gate too large, because then when your team member earns an incentive trip or they hit director, where do you go from there? At my table, several times I said, it's like giving the, okay, make sure no kids are listening. Like, it's like Santa Claus gifts, not at Christmas, then what's Santa Claus going to bring, right? If you kind of go over the top with something, you have no place else to go. So I hope that makes sense. So what we were talking about a lot at the table was that it is perfectly acceptable and fun to get little tokens in the mail when you hit your first few titles. So for instance, when I have a team member hit certified, that's awesome. Well, like I said, I probably did things differently back when, but now what I do is I send something like this, and it says, you are a Scentsy rock star, Scentsy rocks, and it's purple rock candy, okay? You can get it on Amazon, love it, cheap, 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 cheap. You get a big old tub of it. So we want to get them to certified. And then we want them to keep going. Now, this is just a little token. I mean, they might not even eat it, but how fun to get that in the mail. And on the outside of the envelope, I just put a little sticker, you know, our Scent of the Month sticker with little arms and legs like he looks like Barman. And I say, woohoo, you hit certified. Congratulations. It doesn't have to be a big deal because if they are moving, they're going to hit lead pretty soon because now they're going to start gaining ground. So for instance, that was candy. I do a lot of candy, those first few steps. It's inexpensive. If you have a good recruiting month and you have several people gaining ground fast, you can't send something that was like $10, which seems like it wasn't that much, but then what if you had 10 people hit something? Now you're in it for what? Yeah, $100? So that would be unproductive for you as the leader. You can't go broke cheering everybody on. So this is kind of what I was explaining at the table. Scentsy had several wonderful things on the table that can help you with your recognition for your team. And again, once you start making some money in your business, I use my hands a lot, I'm Italian, so there you are. I'm sorry, but I can see my hands going all over the place. But once you start building your team, you'll see as you go along that this was smart. This was a good financial decision with the first few steps of getting to director and higher. Here's another one that I do. You can get Tootsie Rolls or you can do Rolos. And I put, you are on a roll. Okay? So there's that. And I'll put, you know, congrats from Terry on the back of it. Nothing to it. Obviously, there's cuter, craftier, better label things you can do. But just know you don't have to be super, super creative to just do something really thoughtful and cute. I like to drop a little note like that, and I say, I'm watching you. And then they know, oh my gosh, she's watching me. Like, I might not even know them. They could be on the other side of the country, but I knew them back when. Like, Steffi's with, you know, their military. There you go. I mean, we've lived in many places. Like I said, I'm from Southern California, so I have a lot of people down there. So I still talk to people from high school or college, and if they're in my front line and I send them something, they're like, oh. So also what that causes is this chain reaction. We talk about being duplicatable in Scentsy. This is not hard to do. So you're training them inadvertently to do it when they start to gain a team. Another one I have right here, I just have 3 little examples. This one says, your teamwork is gold. Those little chocolate gold coins, okay? Now you can go on Pinterest, you can go on any crafty boards and find a million of these. The list goes on and on. But again, what can you get in bulk? What can you get cheap? What can you put a personal note on? Think about what you want to do and stay steady. Like, your teamwork is gold. That maybe wasn't for gaining a new level of rank. That might have been somebody who just had a really awesome meeting that they invited you to. Or I know that I sent something to one of my star directors down in Southern California because when we called it Spring Sprint World Tour, when it was down there in Ontario, she really handled like if girls wanted matching t-shirts, she handled the t-shirts. She saved all these rows. She brought little bags of candy, stuff she totally didn't have to do. Not all these girls were under her. And so I ended up sending her a little gift. And when I get to these postcards, I gave her the Scentsy Spirit Award because she was just showing and implementing what we try to teach at Scentsy, which is, give more than you take. She had nothing invested there except she wanted everyone to have fun, and she does it every year down there, and it's lovely. And so I just like to recognize her for that. On my table were several things. Now, these are things you can get in the store. This is a little certificate that says you are sensational, and you can fill it out. And now they put a butterfly on it, and it says your director loves you. Okay? Now, I love these. They're in the Scentsy store. They've looked different over the years. I use these when I do, once I hit director, I did a team newsletter every month. And it's very simple, just a little Word document that I send through the workstation, and I do different little shout outs. Very similar to what Steffi was talking about. So I might do like the $2,000 plus PRV club, and I don't really list their numbers, but I put their names underneath there. The $1,000 PRV club, the 500 plus PRV club, the recruiting, and so on and so on. At the end of my newsletter every month, I give them a challenge for that existing month. And whoever wins, sometimes there's more than one winner because I give different kinds of challenges, I will send them something also from the store. So after I started realizing my Scentsy business was actually a business and I was making some money, then I went into the store and I would grab stuff that goes on sale or that is just super reasonably priced, like our pack of pens, or keychains went on sale, or the calculators went on sale. So depending on what the challenge was, if it was a really good challenge, like somebody, anybody who puts in $1,000 worth of PRV, you're going to be put in a drawing. That's going to be a little larger prize. The people that win the smaller, just regular drawings, like if you do this, this, and this is on the honor system. Do you want to be a part of this challenge? That might be something smaller, like a pad of paper or a decal for your card. Those are great prizes. And then I'll put this in here. Now, I know myself, and I'm a saver. I have a huge stack of every thank you card, every little doodah, everything I've ever gotten from home office, down from my upline, everywhere. And I love them, right? And sometimes you think it's so small, and then all of a sudden you get on Facebook and your downline's like, yay, Terry Newman, I love you. I got raw candy, I mean, it was just this little simple thing, but it goes a long way. People like to be appreciated. So I use these for my challenges. They can be used for anything. Again, somebody's being sensational. This is it. Now, I love this pack of postcards. Now, we used to do these postcards. I'll just kind of flash these. Okay, this is what the old ones used to look like. We got them at a spring sprint a while back. Okay, also still so cute. Have a ton of them. Still using them. Okay, but these were the new ones. So for those of you that weren't at Reunion, but you've seen a lot of Facebook pictures, girls, did we not strike gold with the marketing this year? Like all the colors and the fonts and everything are so super cute. So they have really done the work for you. So here's a couple little ideas. The Scentsy Spirit Award. Of course, Scentiversary, if you want to recognize when someone hits their Scentiversary and actually send them a postcard. This is the Running with the Bulls Award for being the biggest risk taker. So that's fun. Maybe somebody really put themselves out there. So cute. Okay? Shooting Star Award. You can send that out. Sales Award. Okay. If somebody is just killing it, just like Steffi was saying, you do these shout outs on social media. It's super meaningful. Well, not everybody's on our Facebook pages. I'd say majority nowadays, but maybe follow up with that postcard because it's just so cute. Okay? Birthdays. You don't have to do all of these. That's the other thing. Don't feel like, oh, I want to do it her way. I need to do it her way. I always say this too. I tell my kids this for years. I tell my athletes this. I'd rather see you do one thing well at 100% than try to do 5 things at 50% that go against your grain. I think Steffi actually mentioned this too, which was find out what your strengths are and then elaborate on them. Don't try to be something you're not, because then you're fighting City Hall when you have talents that you can show and shine at. So they've got the Fireflies Award for lighting the way. So cute. Superstar of team sales versus like overall group sales. Childlike Wonder Award because you bring the fun. Fun. I mean, that is cute. I just thought of like 3 people in my head on my team that deserve that. Rockstar Recruiter, and then the Sensational Start Award. So this is a pack of postcards. You can get it in the store. On my table, what Scentsy did, and I've done this before too, you go to the dollar store, you get little cellophane see-through bags, like little candy bags like from birthday parties. You put one of these postcards in there. You might put some colored fluff. It could be stringy stuff. It could be paper. It could be tissue. I get a big, huge roll of tulle on Amazon. I get purple tulle, and it's like what's like crinoline that's under a dress skirt. And I wrap my orders in it. I use it as stuffing. It's like this purple fluff, and it goes a long way, and it's super inexpensive. So they had like all different color cute, like let's say this is your card, and then you got some purple stringy paper, and you put it in your little thing with this, maybe a little candy bar or some candy kisses, and they tied it up, and they sent it in an envelope. It's pretty flat. It's not too bad. You might pay a little more postage, but I got to tell you guys, this really goes a long way. It goes a long way. Like I said, if somebody's going to take the time to take a picture and then post it on Facebook because they were recognized by someone, this goes way back. I mean, think about how you felt when you had a teacher or a coach recognize you in front of the team. It's a big deal. Your mom and dad, anybody. The look on your child's face when you tell them, you know what, that was amazing. You are really smart. Or, oh my gosh, I wish I was like that. I wish I could do that. You did that better than mommy. Okay? So we talk to our children like that. So really, you are leading this team the same way. You want to recognize people. I have a saying with my cheerleaders. I think about this sometimes. I have been in female-dominated arenas like my whole life, okay? All my different careers, mostly girls. And I like women. I get along with women very well my whole life. But my mom was really special like that. And I kind of pass something along to my daughters, which I pass along to my female athletes in particular. I always tell them, if you want to have friends when you're my age, listen to me, because there's so many women in particular that don't know how to be what I call a girl's girl. And a girl's girl to me is someone who is confident enough to be able to recognize another female's gifts, at the same time knowing you have something to offer, but having enough self-esteem to be able to give accolades to others. Now, of course, we have men on our team too, but we know we are mostly surrounded by other girls. And I have always thought it was just wonderful when another female can give a compliment, can say, you're really good at that. Sometimes it comes with experience in an area or age, but trust me, you start doing this off the bat and all the little recognitions, you will see a huge change. Maybe somebody who was shy or somebody who doesn't have a lot of female friends, and she came to Scentsy because this was going to be her tribe. This is her sorority. You are going to make her feel so welcome and appreciated, and it just goes a long way. Pretty much the last thing that Scentsy had on my table, because we had like the goodies, how you can wrap cheap and cute, keeping your system duplicatable so that you can afford to recognize your team. So start small and go from there. When my girls earn like an incentive trip, I might send, you know, it's a smaller number, right? And it's very special. It's not lucky. It was really super hard work. So I, a lot of times, have done like a little fun bracelet. Not very expensive, but much more than my rock candy. Maybe a journal, you know, something that says dream on it, or goal setter. So you have to think ahead, and then what you want to do when they hit director, star director, and superstar director. So that was the last thing Scentsy had on my table. So I was talking about thinking small, working your way up, being duplicatable, really try to set your system. Don't freak out if you've already been doing some stuff. Just slowly implement a new system. If you feel like you need to adjust, adjust. It's your team. You don't have to feel bad about that. The last thing they had were the charms. Now, you guys have seen all the charm bracelets. I'm sure that there's many people on here who have loaded multiple charm bracelets because you guys are all rock stars and you're always getting the sales award or the mentor award, and we get all these cool charms. So fun. At convention, I saw people with necklaces and necklaces of them. I was just like, wow, that girl's working. So we get those charms from Scentsy. But then we have the other charms that once you're a director, you can purchase for your team members. Now, some people do it for everybody. Some people don't do it at all. Some people do it for only their front line. And I had several people come up to my table that were very concerned about these charms. Now, they're darling and they're very affordable. However, you still don't have to feel obligated. If they want them, you can talk to them about it. I wish personally that the charms were available to everybody, but you could only purchase a charm for the level title you're at. You know, like if you hit lead, you should be able to go buy the lead charm. So a big tone at my table was I was trying to take the pressure off of leaders, okay? Especially before you hit director. You're still hustling and doing your business. You're working, your girls are working, and you shouldn't feel the pressure to have to do that. So that's just a personal choice. Those charms are darling, but you don't have to feel like everybody that hits. Let's say you're recruiting your tail off and everybody's killing it, and all of a sudden your business is pushing so fast. Are you going to keep buying all those charms? And then you're literally buying charms. You're not getting PRV on them. They're just gifts. So that's why I would like to just convey that if you start reasonable, keep it smaller and thoughtful, you're going to do fine. Because then when they start getting the larger awards, then you have ceiling, you have space. You didn't have any space if you started at the top. So they showed all the charms, and they were great. Then they also showed some other kinds of bracelets and charms that I'm sure are like on Amazon or some of our other just other little websites that we share with each other. So you just have to do you, okay? But the biggest thing that we wanted to communicate was that you have a system, and then your system is your system, you guys. Don't compare yourself to other people. Don't. I do not compare myself to other superstar directors. I try to be the best person I can be, and the best leader that I can be. And I think it's always appreciated. As I said, Scentsy was only 4 years old when I started. There wasn't a lot of this. I even tell my girls that joined right after me, sorry, I never sent you raw candy. But it's like, you know, we were all learning together. So pretty much that's it, you guys. I would utilize when you make money and you want to put it back into your business, make smart business decisions, these kind of things, you cannot lose. You can't lose. This is all great. You figure out who you're going to send them to. Be creative. Like Steffi said, you know, don't recreate the wheel. We have documents. We all have upline, downline, and everybody's got their area of expertise. So definitely dip into that and create who you want to be. And that was pretty much it, you guys.
Terry, I only saw one question for you that's popped up, and it is, Terry, do you only send those gifts to your frontline only or to anyone on your downline team, even if they are under other directors?
Okay, so let's go through that really quick. So you have your team, you guys, and then once somebody hits director, that's like your child moving out with their new family, right? They're still in your group, but they are no longer on your team. So in answer to your question, I do this for everybody on my team. And right now, my team, not my group, but my team is a little large. It's kind of a lot of maintenance right now because I had, when you have people quit and they roll up to you and you get their team. So if you have people that hit director and then fell off a title or don't want to do Scentsy anymore, and now you adopt their team, they come back to the house, then they're on your team. So for me, there's two ways to look at that. You can do something a little more special for your front line. You need to pay attention to your front line for sure, girls. And then second, for me, I watch everybody on my team, okay? Because they're going to go boom, 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 boom. They're going to hit director, and then they're all gone anyway. They all go, and then I expect that director to take care of them. I am always present. That's just how I've run my team. I don't have like a superstar director under me yet, so that might be even a different ball game. But in regards to recognition, I only do it for my team. My team, and if you want to maybe just take it up a notch for your front line, I think that's awesome.
Very good information. I like that.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? Just pop them on here. I started a thread so that we could automatically just see everybody's questions. Check one more time before we switch. Could you review the rock candy lollipop sayings?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so for instance, I've got I have stickers that say Scentsy Rocks. You can just put that on there, but I made a little star and tied it on here. It says, "You are a Scentsy rock star." You see that? Okay, you are a Scentsy rock star. Obviously, there's a lot of cute things you could say there. Okay, and then this one was, I do Rolos or I do Tootsie Rolls. You are on a roll. Now, I like to send this when they hit lead or star, because sometimes you'll have a team member that skips a title and just goes from lead to superstar consultant, or, they just skip one. And so that's where that would come into play. I have your teamwork is gold. Let me try. You guys can't see that, right? I hope. I don't want you guys to see my messy books here. I'm trying to find this recognition. Okay. Okay. So I've got like, your whatever meant a lot to me. So there's like, junior mints, or I think it's the $10,000 bar is like, you're worth this and more. You can get starbursts and say, you are a star, or I'm so lucky to have a star like you on my team. Gosh, the list goes on. And then in the Scentsy store, they used to do like the, we did the nail files. And I used to put a little sticker on that says, you nailed it. But there's a lot of things you can do, and just be creative. And if you go on Pinterest or any of I think we have a Facebook page. One of the girls started, it was like originally called Layers and Samples or something. And you can go on there and they always have the cutest ideas, like stuff I wouldn't even think of. But again, you can use washer whiffs, like you were talking about making washer whiff samples, all kinds of things like that. I just do the candy, and then as it gets, for prizes, like when I do these, like the challenge prizes, I try to give them business tools or a branding. Like I'll give them that decal for their car. I'll give them a keychain, maybe a calculator, just different little things when they win a challenge that are business tools. Maybe a couple sheets of join my team for $99 stickers, things like that.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, One more question, and I think this is going to be an easy breezy thing that we can just post to the group.
Okay.
They asked if you could post a picture of your shout out postcards to the group. There's a great group that is on. I know she mentioned Layered on the Samples. That's one of my favorite groups. Any of my new recruits, that's the first place I send them so that they can learn how to make samples. But there's also another group, but I think it's for directors and above, called Postcards. So if you're a director and above and you're not a part of that group, I highly recommend it. You can do a lot of great ideas.
I didn't know that, Wendy.
Yeah, it's a great little group. I've been in there lately because I'm wanting to redo my postcards.
That's good. That's fun. And I know, like, when you see when the store comes out with things like these postcards, it makes your wheels turn, you know. Something I've heard it before. You guys might already do it. I want to go through probably Vistaprint or something and get and put my family picture on there and do a and write my story, put my story on there. And a lot of people put that in their basket parties, and it's just kind of a good little extra thing that kind of makes it more personal and why we do what we do.
And building off that, it also kind of lets people know that your story and you're a real person to them. And when they see, you know, this is why they joined Scentsy, hey, you know, this could benefit me. It's also a good recruiting tool also.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
So that's a great thing. Let me check one more place.
Okay.
We have so many questions pop in. It's really good to see everybody interacting.
Good.
And I don't know how to work my daughter's computer, so we're just going to check right here.
It's the same one as yours.
I know, but I still can't get it to work. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, they just asked if you could post those to the group, and I'm sure that we can accomplish that later this week without a problem.
I can post a bunch. Of the candy ideas if you want, Wendy.
Yeah.
I can put it on that that page that we click to come here.
That
Okay.
would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had 2 other speakers that were lined up for tonight. They had issues come up, so they're not going to be with us. One of them was Building Your Community with Tasha Ellington. So we're just going to skip that for tonight. If I can get her booked for later this, you know, for another session. We've got 4 of these coming up. Well, 3 now. I can get her on one of those. I will gladly get her on one of those to go over what she did as far as building your community. Because when we start out with Scentsy, we start out with our list of 100. We push that as, you know, mentors, as leaders, we push that list of 100. But what happens after we get through that 100? How do we build out from there? So Tasha goes over that. She does a great job of how to build your community outward from there. So I really want to get her to cover that with you guys. The next thing I've got is going to be, I'm going to screen share and I'm going to play a Periscope video from Mandy Schrum. And she did a booth called Lean on Me, Supporting Your New Recruit. So what do we do when we get somebody that wants to sign up? How do we support them? What do we need to do? So she kind of covered that. So I'm going to see if I can get this to play. And again, this is a learning opportunity for me, you guys. So bear with me. And I love that Google makes it this really easy. Okay, now I just got to figure out how to play it. Let's just click here.
What?
And play.
It's not showing up on your
If there's a delay.
Okay, there it is.
There you go. I am so impressed, Wendy.
It's a total learning curve for me.
Well, I'm impressed.
Let's see if it's going to play for us. It may have to download.
Gotcha.
Tomorrow is Mandy's birthday, so if you guys are friends with Mandy Schrum, y'all do her shout out and tell her happy birthday. And I don't think it's going to play for us.
And Director Wendy Ryan out with a training call.
Let's see if that's going to work. Well, it played a little bit. Let's see. Well, we have completely lost it. So we will just skip that part, and I'll try to get that. I'll post that link up.
Okay.
Sorry about that, y'all. We're learning. It's all good. But Mandy does a wonderful job, and she goes over a few things, and I've got some photos that she sent me and that I took when I was walking around trying to get information from all the booths at Cincy Family Reunion. And it kind of talks about some of the new changes that are coming in when people first sign up with Cincy, and the new training program that they've got as far as like videos coming from Heidi and Orville saying, welcome to the crew, welcome to Cincy.
Yeah.
To me, that's phenomenal. Our goal is to always get these people to Sensation Start. Right now, with all of these huge promos we've got, the Shooting Star being free. These are huge that we need to be promoting and helping them hit. And with the new changes that are coming, it's going to make it so much easier. So I'm super excited about it. I'm going to skip back and go over the financial aspects of team building. A lot of people that came by my booth were they were either certified consultants or they were leads, and they were wondering, what's the real reason that I want to go ahead and build a team? What's the purpose? And I kind of think back to my story, because when I first joined Cincy 5 years ago, my whole thing was, I just want to pay my son's car payment. My oldest son was turning 16. He had a car. We needed to pay for it. Our ends, we're also military, so we're kind of on the cheap side. So my goal was just to sell enough just to cover that car payment and not worry about anything else. Building a team, nope, no thank you, that's not for me. Well, lo and behold, I listened to the Cincy Family Reunion, which was called Convention back then, from Fort Worth, Texas. And I kind of listened to it online. I was not there. They did a live broadcast over the internet. And I listened to it at the law office that I worked at. And they announced the Dominican Republic trip. And I was like, I could do this. Called my husband. He laughed at me, which just set my fire even more, because I'm like, I've got to prove you wrong. So that's exactly what I did. I earned that trip for 2. We had a fabulous time. So now that we're again looking at another Dominican Republic trip, I'm like, yes, this is so me. I'm there. But the way to get there is building your team. Now, not only just to earn those incentive trips, they're great, they're wonderful, life-changing, but the financial side of it, you can't beat it. When I started building my team and recruiting people, I was all about just the incentive trip, but something really magical started happening. My income went up, and I was like, there's something to this. And so I was like, okay, let me look into it a little bit further. So, I started, just consistently recruiting across the board, keeping them, building, getting my teammates to start recruiting so that we could grow. And they would ask me, what's the key to growing your business? Consistency, consistent recruiting. Even if you're getting no's, it's okay. Keep going. Don't stop. Even when I was recruiting, I would have people that they were like kidnappers. And it was deflating to me because I was working so hard to get these recruits, and then they would just sign up, get the kit and disappear. And so I finally learned that, it's okay. Everybody comes into Cincy for a different reason. Not everybody's going to come in as gung-ho as me and want to do this. So I learned, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I just recruited more people. And there's really a lot of magic in the numbers that you recruit. To have, a team of 100, you're going to recruit probably 70 to get to that 100, because those people are going to start recruiting. But when the numbers work out, with the kidnappers, the people that, I want to do it, but I just don't have time, to get those rock stars. I'm pretty sure that in one of the books I read of Mary Christensen, she said for every 10 people that you recruit, 1 will be a rock star. And it may even be higher numbers than that. So that's really important, that it is a numbers game. Lead by example is another thing that I really try to push with my team. Terry was talking about all the recognitions and the cute little sayings. My team's notorious. They know me. That's what I do. I will send them a paper clip in the mail and tell them that they're the clips that you put on your potato chips. Tell them that they're a chip off the old block.
Cute.
And, just little cute little sayings like that I come off of Pinterest, which is the devil. I get on Pinterest and I'm there for hours. It's worse than Facebook.
Right.
I do shout outs as I can. I've got team members from, Alabama here, clear up to Ohio, to Maine, Australia. So as much as I can do online, I do, but I try to send them little gifts in the mail, even if it is those little certificates that say you're sensational, because I do want them to know that I am watching them. I do see what they do, and I want them to know that I think they're great. It's fairly common for people to be like, well, I would recruit, but all my customers are great. Getting to the point where you're not scared to lose those sales, you're going to be better. And I know that sounds kind of odd, but some of my best recruits were actually my best customers. Anybody that's doing parties for you at least once every 3 months, and they're doing, say, a $600-700 party, you need to start flipping those parties. And there's many reasons why. A, they're going to become a very good consultant for you, but it's also going to force you to get out of your comfort zone and go find more customers. And when you find more customers, you're going to find more recruits. So, it's doubles up, but it's worth it. And I know I'm going really fast because I know I was going to try to keep this to an hour, hour and a half, but I'm trying to make sure that we get all the questions answered and all the information in. I wanted you guys to see some of the numbers that go along with income. And so I'm going to pull up, and this is what we had at my booth when I was in the booth. Let's see if I can get this to come up. All right, you should be looking at looks like just a spreadsheet. And you'll see that the average number of consultants per title, average annual commissions. This is the second thing that I want you to talk to you guys about. Because when you look at these numbers, it's crazy. It's insane to look at the difference here. Because you've got, and I'm hoping you guys can see this, from a certified consultant, the average annual commission, and this is from 2014. This is not from 2016 or 2015. The average commission for a certified consultant for a year was $463. Now let's jump down here because most of you guys are going to be sitting in either lead or star or superstar. Lead, the average annual commission is $900. Okay, that's great. I love $900. $900 extra in my pocket, that's perfect. But when I jump down here to director, the average annual commission for a director is $6,887.12. That's per year. And I know that most of the friends that I have that are directors, theirs is more than that. This calculation takes into account the people that don't work their business and the people that do. So that's how they come to the average middle. Now let's just jump to star director. That's a $10,000 a year increase. And then you jump up to superstar director. I'm not even going to try to calculate that in my brain. So really and truthfully, building your business and growing your team, there are so many reasons why you should. If you don't want to be a leader, then you certainly don't have to. But, it is awesome to be able to build your team and to be able to lead and see that financial aspect of it grow. The other thing is the comp plan. I mean, you can look at the comp plan. It's in the back of your catalogs. It's all over our workstations. Look at it and see. I mean, just play with bare minimum numbers so that you can calculate how much you would make the difference between being a lead consultant to a director. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with my team members that want to grow their team. So we'll sit and we'll go over this stuff and we'll play with numbers like that so that they can see and understand the comp plan that, if I'm doing $500 a month in sales, which is easy breezy, and my team is making $10,000, that's how I hit my director numbers. This is what my pay would be. So when they look at those numbers, it's very motivational. Because when you look at the numbers as a lead consultant versus a director, those numbers will motivate. And, to me, that's huge. But you can't hit director and not do the things that these other beautiful leaders have told us tonight. You've got to be the leader. You've got to use recognition. You've got to host team meetings. But I promise it's not hard. It's a lot of fun. And to watch yourself grow is amazing. That is pretty much the spiel that I went over in my booth. I had a great time at Sfr Family Reunion. I enjoyed the training expo. My only downfall was that I didn't have a chance to hit every booth and meet everyone the way that I wanted to.
Same.
So that's why we did this tonight. And then tomorrow night we're doing sponsoring, and the next week we're going to do 2 more meetings like this. Again, everything's being recorded. It's being streamed on YouTube. So if anybody has questions or anything, please feel free. I am actually checking Facebook as we go so that I can relay questions to and from people, just so we can answer everybody's questions. If you post a question over on YouTube and I answer you under a different account, I am answering under my daughter's account, so it looks kind of crazy. Which, by the way, Terry, she came in here with a note and said, Mom, she looks like a very young Kristen Chenworth. And she's back there yelling at me because I said it wrong.
Yeah, I wish I could sing like her.
She's my drama queen. Is what I like to call her.
Girl after my heart.
Erica Witten asked, and I'm going to read this out loud, why is the max for director higher than the max for star director? I don't quite understand that question, but I'm going to look right here. And the maximum annual commission is like the most that somebody's made as director for 2014. So that just means that somebody that holds that director title earned that amount in 2014, and that was the highest commission paid to a director. And the same thing with star director. So that's why there's that huge difference. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much double, but it's just somebody that held the title. Again, when you look at the comp plan to make star director, you have to have 2 active frontline directors under you, and your team has to do $30,000 in, and I'm hoping I'm saying this right, in GWV. Your team has to have like 6,000. So again, the difference is those requirements that the comp plan makes us do and how much that person earned. So she could have, probably 7,500 people under her all making, decent. And then she put in her order, but the problem is she doesn't have 2 frontline, so she didn't promote 2 star directors. So there's so many different variances that could come into play there. That's why the numbers are going to be different. Yes, ma'am.
Wendy, to add to that also is, let's say you have one frontline director and you're on your way to star director, then you get another frontline director and you hit star director. It is highly likely that one of those 2 directors has a director under them. Sometimes you will see your check jump that way, you guys, because you get 1 percentile more per generation. So whatever you make on your first generation directors, you make a percentage more on your second generation, and you actually make the highest percentile on your third generation director. But you have to be a superstar director to get paid on that third generation. But that's why you're seeing this leap. Like sometimes we will have a very strong, you can call it what you want, branch, leg, okay? You have one director, then she has a director under her, and then she has a director under her, and so on. And it just kind of, you've got this really strong one avenue, but then you really just need that other front line director. Then the magic happens. It really does after that. That's kind of why you probably, and like Wendy said, these are totally averages. They're just like, that's why we show these to each other as consultants for motivation. We don't show that to necessarily strangers, because we know these are rough numbers and these are no promises. She also said, this is people working their business. Not everybody works their business, and they sit back and go, well, I thought, and it's like, no, I didn't actually say that. You have to work your business. And the way Sensi is set up, in case you guys have never heard this, Orville has said it many times, we have a very clean compensation plan, much to some people's dismay. But believe me, it is clean. Nobody's ever going to accuse us of being a pyramid scheme or anything bad. Orville has it set up so the top earners can't sit back and just collect money and you never hear from them. We all have to interact in the business, and I think that's what makes Sensi really special, because we are all still so very intertwined all the way up.
Yes, And that's one thing I love because, and I'm glad you said that, because we can't just sign up for Cincy and say, hey, I want to be a director. And once we hit director, sit back and think, all it's going to come to me, all I got to do is sit here. No, we have to work our business, whether we're a director, whether we're a star director, or whether we're a superstar director. You are still responsible to work your business and, you know, keep pushing and doing sales and doing parties. Because I can tell you right now, I've had months where I wasn't able to work my business the way I wanted, and my paycheck was not what I wanted it to be, even though I'm a director. I'm sure there were certified consultants and even essential consultants that made a lot more than me because I didn't work my business, and that was on me. So, you know, yeah, it's a lot of work, but it does come easy. And being able to connect and network with other people and learn from other people. And I like the way that Terry said this, and I'm going to change the wording on it, but take that system and just kind of tweak it to make it your own, because it's your system, it's your team, and you can lead them any way that you want. But just tweak it and make it your own. Don't try to copy somebody else, and don't try to recreate the wheel. It's already made for us. We just have to make it our own. So my team knows with me, when they get something or when I'm doing something, it's going to be quirky. It's going to be funny. It's not going to be serious because I'm not a very serious person. You can see the chaos that's been going on behind me. You'll see my kids running back and forth. My husband over here, like, how you do this? You know, that's the way my life is all the time. So, you know, it is what it is, and it's me, and it's my way, and I love it, and it makes me who I am. So don't be afraid to be you. And a lot of people, I think, are scared that if people see them for who they are, that people won't like them. Well, guess what? We do. We love people for who they are. So don't be afraid to be that person. I am going to post the link to Mandy's video that she did. I'm going to post it in the group so everybody can see it. Hopefully Tasha's going to send me a link to a video maybe tomorrow. I'll post that as well. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to post them in the event page. Thank you, Terry, for being here tonight. I so appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking.
Bacon night. But if you guys have questions, I hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and I hope you guys will tune in tomorrow night for sponsoring. So if you have any questions, let us know. We're going to post some pics up to the event page so you guys will have it, and we'll answer questions from there. Thanks so much. Night-night.